our life. But I also noticed that, one, I didn't know much about it, and that a lot of people around me didn't know much about what was going on, that these organizations exist, and that a lot of times they don't even know about one another. So the obvious next step for me, I think, was to go find out who was out there, introduce myself, and start collecting this data, and creating a map of Jerusalem. I think a lot of what we all have in common is we're all very clear on what needs to stop and what needs to end and what we're fighting against. I'm very frustrated with the lingo because we have a very hard time talking about what we want to create, what it is we're suggesting, what's it going to look like in 1 year or 5 years down the line. I think within a local context, we'll be able to think long term in a better way and ask each other, what's our civil society going to look like? What do we want it to look like? So by mapping these organizations and finding out who's out there and creating that local perspective, I'm hoping to do, that'll be my piece of the puzzle in shifting and helping that move along. So now basically that's what I do. Grassroots Jerusalem is a mapping project just to find out who's out there, whether it's environmental projects or farmers market or human rights and protests in Sheikh Jarrah. Connecting those dots into a community.
Okay, how long has Grassroots Jerusalem existed?
I've been working on it for a year and a half, a couple of years now.
Okay. And where's it going? What do you hope to see happening there?
I hope to see a map of Jerusalem where I can say, since we think in internet terms now, we can click on any neighborhood or community in Jerusalem, find out what the basic needs are in that community, and find out who's already active there and who isn't. You know, what is being taken care of and what's not being taken care of. I'd like activists around Jerusalem to be able to see who else is out there and what are the resources we have at our disposal, and for people in Jerusalem to be able to see what's going on in their neighborhoods and who are the organizations they can get involved with if they want to. And anyone from the States or around the world, Jewish, Muslim or Christian communities that want to be directly involved with a specific project in a specific neighborhood, they'd have a way to pinpoint something like that and not have to go through big bulky organizations or the Jerusalem municipality in order to support a specific issue. So in that way we can connect the global grassroots movement to the local one.
Okay, and I'm wondering, you say that one of the problems you find in with activists is that we find it hard to think of a future, to think of what we want to see, let alone in 5 years, but in 2 months. Is this something that you offer on Grassroots? I mean, is there something, a common goal that every organization meets, agrees to? Is there a common ground or a common horizon that you all look onto? What do you actually agree on?
I agree on non-violence. I agree on a basic level of human rights and justice. I agree that we need to be thinking in a sustainable direction. That right now, for example, Israel and Jewish Jerusalem is one of the most subsidized communities in the world. It's number one constituent of foreign assistance from the United States. That's, as far as I'm concerned, extremely unsustainable. It means that if someone pulls the plug, we won't last because we haven't set up a sustainable way of life right now. So I think sustainability, asking those questions and seeing how we can create our own self-dependency is something I can agree on. besides that, when it comes to the political questions that people like to hear, one-state solution, two-state solution, Jerusalem and what's going to be in Jerusalem, those are questions I don't think are actually relevant at the moment. I think what's relevant is for us to start asking ourselves questions about where we're going to be. What's our role in this civil society? And what's it going to be in a year? And what's it going to be in 5 years? And as we collect that information and realize that about ourselves, we can fit our piece of the puzzle in with the other pieces. And then together find out, oh, okay, so maybe that's what we're going to look like. Maybe that's what we're going to figure out. We'll find out as we go along. But until we find out for ourselves what we want it to look like, what we want to be, how I want my life to be in 5 years, it's very hard for me to suggest to other people what their life needs to look like. So right now it's a reflection. So no, I don't suggest politics.
Okay, so there is okay, great. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope we'll be able to interview again soon about more of Grassroots Jerusalem's work, and I hope you have good luck with it.
Cheers! Thank you very much.
Okay. Goodbye.